will be last. Anybody else? Hayden, that's 226, Big Report. There's a couple things I would like to touch on, and the question asked the mayor and the service department's not here. When is work going to be started on Libby Road? I know it's the county's job. It was supposed to be started a year ago, postponed, and so forth. Now, I'm dumbfounded because I heard a rumor that a certain councilman is running for mayor. That certain councilman has done nothing but stonewall this city. Every time the city council wants to move ahead with the city, there's always a negative answer. Stonewalling, blocking. That gentleman isn't qualified to be a city council, let alone mayor. I don't see how he can run. Talk negative here. He's been negative to this city. Nothing positive. People are running for council and took the office. So all supposed to be thinking positive. This councilman has been nothing but negative and trouble. I've been coming to council for roughly 23 years. I've seen the good and the bad. But this councilman is the worst I've ever seen. Thank you.
Sandy Benino, 14917 Summit. My reason for being here tonight is only going to be directed to you, Mr. Brownlee. I would like to know, I was animal control here from 2008 to 2011. I want to know why my social security number was on Facebook. Why don't you just leave everybody alone? I understand it's under investigation. However, do you know the threat level that you caused people? And I don't think you really care. But this police department here means the world to me. Those are the only people I care about. And you, my friend, have the common sense of a rock.
Gerald Arnold, 20709 Bowling Green Road. First of all, I'd like to thank the council president, the mayor, and members of council for the opportunity to serve in the term of planning and zoning. I'm very excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. I see for ordinance 2015-21 about the senior center levy. It would give me some assurance, it would be some confidence that if there was some wording somewhere that the money would not be transferred to the other city funds. It doesn't say that anywhere. So I don't want 2 years down the line or 3 years down the line somebody say, oh, they've got too much money, we'll transfer it to the general fund or something like that. This money is meant for the senior center, and the senior center only should never be transferred out of the senior center and used for anything else except for the senior center. And it wouldn't be a good idea even to all of a sudden shift people from other departments into the payroll of the senior center so you can use the money for it. None of that should happen. It should be, this money should go for the future of the senior center. And so it should ensure its future. I hope it's used wisely and used properly, that if even though the levies a 5-year levy, that it would hopefully get the senior center some stability and be used for, that put them in a position that longer than 5 years. Because again, at the end of the 5 years, the levy would be over, and then you have to make a decision, do we need to do this again? Hopefully you would. Hopefully the would be the monies to extend the future of the center beyond 5 years. But it would probably be helpful if there's some assurance before you vote on this. I don't see it anywhere here, and I don't know if it has to be written in, or is it something that you just decided that would make it, that you can't transfer it to do other stuff with it, or you can't add people or anything like that. Because I do want the senior center is very important to the community. I hope that the levy passes so that we can continue to serve the seniors. Hopefully, I got a few years before I need the services of the senior center, but I think that it's important, and it's a community asset that we have, and one of the few assets that we can really step up and be proud of. Second idea. I think you were looking for ideas. Let's just throw this out if you can think about it or whatever. I don't even know who will even go down the route. We have a city swimming pool. Quite expensive, nice facility, swimming pool. Within a couple miles of each road, we have both hospital systems. We have Cleveland Clinic down the street that way, and UH down at the Bedford Center. Maybe somebody approach one hospital system and see if they would help us. You could maybe get the hospital system to sponsor a community fitness program, and part of community fitness would be swimming. So if they could sponsor the pool for the year and use it as an exercise facility, they may be able to invest money in something like that, and we get our residents and others, if they had to, some exercise, a place to get water aerobics and all those other things that swimming provides. Instead of looking at it as a sponsor, look at it as a health benefit. And some of our residents may be able to take advantage, and I'm sure a hospital would certainly jump at a chance to increase fitness for anyone that would be there. So I'm just thinking that might be an idea to look at, see if one of the hospitals can sponsor a pool this summer. It's probably too late for this year, but you never know. Thanks.
We're ready for legislation.
Ordinance number 2015-21, an ordinance pursuant to sections 5705.19 of the revised code, submitting to the electors of the city of Maple Heights at the November 3rd, 2015 municipal election, the question of an additional 1.3 mil tax levy for 5 years for the purpose of the current expenses and general operations of the Maple Heights Senior Center and declaring an emergency.
This resolution is on its second reading.
Ordinance number 2015-22, an ordinance adopting the 2016 tax budget of the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
And this ordinance is on its first reading.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Brownlee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As was stated in caucus, there is looks to me to be about a 1.7 million discrepancy between the projection included in this tax budget compared to the projection that was given to us on March 23rd of this year, just 2 months ago. And the answers to the questions that were asked as to why there's such a difference, the only one that was proffered was things change. Well, I'd like to know, first of all, why there's a $1.7 million change. That's a significant change. We're not talking about a change of 1-2%. We're talking about a change of almost 10%. Secondly, I would like to know what constitutes those changes. What were the changes in revenue? What were the changes in expenditures? And if there's going to be changes in expenditures, then City Council needs to be notified of those things, and they need to be approving those expenditures before they are made. So if there have been changes, City Council needs to be made aware of those changes, especially before they send a document down to the county stating that there have been changes that have not been explained to us. So with those thoughts, I would say we need to have the answer to these questions prior to passage of this resolution for this tax budget for next year.
Would you please turn to your expenditures over $1,000? That would be 2015-39 through 44. May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Would you call the roll?
Adams.
Yes.
Safrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Jordanski.
Yes.
Agee.
Yes. Thank you, Council. You now have the mayor's report, please.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to just respond to a couple of things that were brought up tonight. The Water Department in Cleveland, yes, we can all agree they are the worst utility in Greater Cleveland. A few years ago, they were so overwhelmed with the work that they have to do that they started to sub out a lot of this repair work to contractors, that when they come in our city to work in the public right-of-way or work in the street, these contractors are not certified, registered, or bonded, or even in some cases insured. And when we find them and stop them, talk to them, give them the packet that they need to do all of those things, we meet with a lot of resistance because Cleveland Water believes that they are above the law. So yes, we have fought them toe-to-toe, face-to-face many, many times, and we continue to disagree with them. We continue to hold them accountable to have differences. Sometimes we actually do end up with a good contractor, which is a rarity, but it does happen once in a while. But this particular issue sounds like it's getting out of hand, and seems like we might have to intervene with our service department to at least make this area safe for the motoring public, the residents, the children, and whoever else might happen to fall into this excavated hole. That's not a good thing. So we will be out there tomorrow to look it over and see what we can do to make it safe. And we will continue to call Cleveland Water and email them and be a pain in the neck to them, and hopefully they will get out there and get it taken care of. The question came up about Libby Road. Now, as I have said many times at past council meetings, things have changed a little bit on Libby Road. This year, and work will start this year on Libby Road. The work that you will see this year will be all of the concrete work, which will be curb work and the handicap ramps at every intersection. By federal law, all those have to be replaced, and there's a new style and a new type that has to go in. That will be done this year. In fact, that project will be bid sometime in the coming month. Now, that funding avenue is through the county, the Community Development Block Grant. They are paying 100% for all of that concrete work. Now, the delay for the road surface itself came from ODOT. When the city started to have financial problems, ODOT stepped in and said, you know what, we're going to take this project and we are going to administer it, not the city, which is fine. The project will get done. ODOT's timetable is they will start the asphalt resurfacing next year after all the concrete work is done. So the project in itself is only delayed a year as far as the asphalt work goes. We know this road is deplorable. We have patched it, and we continue to patch it, and sweep it and patch it some more. We're doing the best that we can to keep it somewhat passable to the motoring public. It's not easy. You know, we are spending a lot of money on coal patch and asphalt patch to keep it just drivable, and even that's debatable. So you'll see work this year. You won't see the asphalt work until next year, but it will get done. ODOT does have the money budgeted, and they will administer the project, so we are grateful for that. This Monday, as you heard, is Memorial Day. I've marched in many parades, as have many of City Council and the administrators. A lot of residents have too. I'm sure a lot of their children have marched as members of the band, or maybe Little League or cheerleaders, whatever organization they have been with. This has gone on for 78 years. That's a long time. We've gone through a lot of veterans. Right now, I believe we're going through the Vietnam veterans. We're well past World War II and Korea. After that, you know, we've had some other veterans from Grenada, Panama, the Gulf War, whether that was Desert Shield, Desert Storm, maybe Iraq, Afghanistan. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't really involved. So we have our veterans here now, which are mostly our Vietnam veterans. And the parade had to be shortened because they, quite frankly, have a hard time marching that entire length of Libby Road. But what's troubling to me is that the amount of residents who do not come out and watch the parade anymore has dwindled to really, really low numbers. The parade route used to be lined on both sides of the street, you know, 2-3 deep. And when I became mayor of this city and walking in the first parade, there were long areas of Libby Road where there was no one. No one. So, since this is 78 years, and as Mr. Blunt said, they're going to keep going as long as he can do it and others can do it. The route is a lot shorter. It only runs from Clement Street to Lee Road and over to the Memorial. So please, on a shorter route, you know, you don't have to come out for us, forget about ours, but come out for the veterans. These Vietnam veterans that we're going through pretty quickly. Because after that, you know, there really isn't much left. So this Monday, please come out and support them, rain or shine. I've marched in many parades in the rain, even wearing a winter coat one year. Although I think the high temperature this year is going to be 80 degrees with a 50% chance of rain, so that means it won't rain. That's the way I look at it anyway. But please come out for them, because they always came out for us. And with that, I'll conclude my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilwoman Agee, District 7.
Good evening. Sir, this is my first time hearing about 21412 Garden View. And if she would have called me, I would have contacted the service department.
But if she did call you and leave a message,
Sir, no, anytime someone called me, I returned their call that same day. Thank you. But I know, no, sir, it's okay, but I know someone put you up there saying it because it's election time, but that's okay.
Nobody
It's
put
okay.
me up to
It's
it.
okay.
I can guarantee.
Yes, I know.
I can guarantee you.
Anyway, good evening. There has been some discussion about drive-time motor vehicle that is coming soon to Maple Heights. As you know, the company will be located on Warrensville Center Road in Rockside. Residents that live on Watercrest will have drive-time as their neighbors. Because the company is located in an area that borders a residence street, I had a block watch meeting, and I have talked to you guys one-on-one about the troubles that you will be having, if you have any. Residents should not go directly to car drive time to ask questions. As it is official, the mayor, planning and zoning, and I will contact and communicate with drive time on your behalf. End report.
Thank you, Edwina. Councilman Adams, District 1.
Thank you. Thank the
residents for coming out. Thank the residents for coming out and for your statements, your comments. This week I visited the streets in District 1 checking for high grass or some visible violations. I was pleased to see that only 17 homes needed a friendly warning. The list was sent to Darrell from the building department. 9 of these homes were empty. 9 out of 17 homes. The police and dog warden was called by a resident on Walvern out of concern for a dog who appeared to be abandoned for a few days and barked all night. The animal warden is investigating. Complaints of potholes on Summit and Steinway. Service department was notified. Many complaints on Corkhill of speeders near the Glenwood stop sign. They set up an enforcement and caught some offenders. Thank you, Chief. Up to see you at the Maple Heights Memorial Day Parade Monday. Al in the mirror was right. The participation is down, and we enjoy in this country freedom from others that fought for that freedom. And we should pay a little respect by coming out for an hour or two. I hope to see all of you there. I'd like to thank Leo and Hines from District 1, Sun Valley, for donating his time for cutting some of the streets, parks in Maple. He does a fine job in District 1. And I'd like to congratulate Mr. Arnold. Another 5 years on the planning and zoning. You've been holding it up and you do a good job, Mr. Arnold. So congratulations. With that, I end my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Councilman Sepulveda, District 3.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd also like to thank Gerald for his time and his efforts on the Planning Commission. Thank you. I'm glad you look forward to the next 5 years, because it's definitely going to be interesting. Received some complaints on William Street about the condition of the street, the size of the streets, and the flooding and the backing up. So I'm going to be talking to the engineer and the service department about hopefully a solution for that. As everybody knows, the grass is growing like crazy, so the grass complaints have been coming in steadily, and that is appreciated from the residents, because that kind of points out what's vacant, what's not, and helps everybody out. So thank you to them. I also wanted to send a special thank you to our veterans, men, women, and our K-9 unit. Thank you for your time served and for those who paid the ultimate price. But I really wanted to focus on one gentleman who has shown his dedication to the city and this memorial parade, and that is Al Clones. Through hell or high water, he has put on this parade, and we should show appreciation to him and the veterans. So please come out and show your support. And thank you, Al. End of report.
Thank you, Anthony. Councilman Jackson, District 4.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I too have been traveling my district, and tall grass seems to be a problem everywhere. I guess part of it you can understand, the vacant lot, the empty houses, but the ones that I'm really getting complaints about from the residents when they have a house next door to them, and you'll have 3 or 4 or 5 immaculately cut lawns, and then you got 1 or 2 houses that are dandelion heaven. And it's kind of hard to express to those residents how their neighbors feel about them, and that they could at least cut the grass. So I'm continuing to come up with that list. I too want to thank our veterans for their service. I hope everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend. As you heard the chief explain, and there's some flyers on the back table, I think, there's a community forum Thursday, May 28th at the library, and I hope to see a lot of people there in the report.
Thank you. Councilman Brownlee, District 5.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I wanted to mention an event coming up in the middle of June 14th. The Historical Society, we're having their 100th anniversary. A part of this 100th anniversary, they're going to be digging up the time capsule that was buried 50 years ago in 1965. And no one in 1965 thought to write down what they put in it. So it's going to be a surprise whenever they open it. They don't even know what to expect. So it should be interesting. That will be on June 14th from noon to 5 p.m. I think it's a Saturday. It's on the weekend, so obviously. So June 14th, come out noon to 5, and you'll get to see what they dig up, and also the new one they put in the ground.
It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday, okay. I was pleased to see so much interaction here tonight, a lot of comments. It's good to see people come and offer their opinions on things, to point out things that they think are of concern. Ms. Menino commented on the incident with Social Security numbers, and that's being investigated, as the police chief stated, for any possible problems with that. What had happened was my wife posted a document which there was a couple of, not Social Security numbers, but just digits that you could read parts of them, like the bottom half of a couple of them. And an individual pointed it out to us, and within an hour of posting it, we did better redacting and took care of that. The problem was when we redacted the information more completely, people assumed that the information had never been redacted in the first place. They thought that there was a list of everyone's Social Security numbers available online, which wasn't the case. You could see how people would, it just got blown out of proportion. So Ms. Menino has been aware of our statements on Facebook, yet she obviously didn't believe us. So I believe that there should be no concern for anyone involved. Mrs. Carr mentioned this flyer. This is for the food pantry that will be opening next month, part of Faith Community Church. Announced it last week. They went around putting flyers on people's doors. They probably didn't, I'm assuming they didn't know they're not allowed to put them in mailboxes. That would be my guess. So on their behalf, I'd like to apologize for that. But since you brought it up, it's another good chance to just make another announcement that they will be starting registration here soon. And if you want any more information, feel free to contact me and I'll put you in contact with them. Also, Memorial Day is coming up this week, and it is a very special time of the year. It wasn't until 2009 that I realized how beneficial Memorial Day services could be. Growing up, that was just something my family never did. When I was in the service, we were involved in a couple of things, but kind of in an official basis, you know, as color guard or something like that. And those were always special times, but it was in 2009, the first time I went to a morning graveyard service on Memorial Day. As a friend, a fellow veteran had invited me. And it really impacted me to take time, not just, you know, to get together with people you appreciate on Memorial Day as a vacation day, but to take purposeful time to reflect on the sacrifices that have been made, and especially so whenever you were marking the graves themselves of those who gave the greatest sacrifice. So I would encourage you to really consider finding a local celebration, if not the one here in Maple Heights, then somewhere else. Consider being part of it, because it instilled in me, and every year it does, a greater appreciation for not just the sacrifices that were made, but for our country and the principles on which it stands. So please, take some time in the coming days, find a celebration to be part of, and make sure you're part of that on Memorial Day. With that, may God bless you, and may God bless Maple Heights.
Councilman Trojanski, District 6.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out this evening. I would like to begin by congratulating Mr. Arnold on another appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Best of luck. Thank you for your service. My May issue of my District 6 newsletter is available. I've been walking the streets. I have a few more streets left, so I'll be walking those streets tomorrow and Friday, so please look out for the District 6 newsletter on your doors. My next event will be Saturday, May 30th. I'm having a team-up to clean up. It's a neighborhood cleanup to address the litter and debris that's along Maple Heights Boulevard in the wooded sections between Nitro Avenue and Warren Center Road. I'm having a cleanup next Saturday. We're meeting at the corner of Longview Avenue and Maple Heights Boulevard from 10:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. So I'm looking for volunteers. You don't have to be from District 6 to volunteer. So if you're interested, please come out on Saturday, May 30th. Should we get rained out, the backup date will be Saturday, June 6th. So I hope that you can come out. I think it's very important that we as a community come out and we help one another and we help beautify our neighborhood, because it's our community and we need to take the initiative and invest and work together. And so I hope you'll come out on that day. And I hope that you also come out on the Memorial Day Veterans Parade next Saturday, or excuse me, next Monday. And with that, thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Since our Councilwoman Toni Jones isn't here this evening, I would just like to compliment her, and I will when I see her as well. She had a forum last week with the landlords and tenant organization, which was very successful, and I got to meet several of the landlords in the area and people who are very interested in coming into the city. They had a very successful forum, and I do give Toni credit for organizing. We also had a job fair produced by the Lions Club, which was not as successful, but it certainly brought some people in who were looking for work. More of that is probably what we need to have in the city. Congratulations to Mr. Arnold, who has been, I think, chairman for many, many years. I really don't remember how many years, but Mr. Arnold has done a really great job of planning and zoning, being there and being a part of that organization. And he will be sworn in at our next planning and zoning meeting. The last comment, our next meeting is going to be in June, and that will be the first Wednesday in June. I believe that's June 1st. I'm sorry, June 3rd. And with that, there being no further business to come before this council, this meeting is adjourned, and thank you very much for coming.